Hey there, and welcome. If you're learning French, I bet you've wondered how you're supposed to say you're doing something right this second. Do you just use the simple present tense? Or is there, another way to do it? Well, today we're going to break down one of the most common mix-ups for French learners.
Okay, let's dive right in. You see these two phrases, and on the surface, they both kind of look like they mean I am working. But in French, they carry really different vibes. So, which one is correct? Well, the answer is it depends. But don't worry, by the end of this, you're going to know exactly what it depends on.
All right, first up, let's talk about the absolute workhorse of the French language, the standard present tense, or what we call l'indicatif présent. This is probably the very first tense you learned, and for a really good reason. It does so much. So its main job is to describe something that's happening at the exact moment you're speaking. If someone asks what you're doing and you're in the middle of lunch, you can just say, je mange. It's simple, it's direct, and it means I am eating right now. Easy enough, right? But here's the twist. The exact same tense is also used for something totally different, your habits, your routines. You just gotta look for those little signal words like tous les jours, every day, or souvent, often. So when you say tous les jours, je mange à 8 heures, you're not eating right now, you're saying that's your routine. It's the same for hobbies like I play tennis, or daily things like we drink coffee in the morning. Context is really the key here. Okay, so now let's move on to our second structure. This one is what I like to call the specialist. You bring this guy in when you really need to stress that something is happening as we speak. Yep, être en train de is your go-to tool for emphasis. You use it when you want to make it crystal clear that an action is unfolding right now. Think of it like the French way of saying, I'm in the middle of, or I'm in the process of. It's all about what's happening this very second. And you know what the best part is? The formula is so simple. It's just 3 little steps. First, you take the verb être and conjugate it. Je suis, tu es, il est, and so on. Step 2, you add that magic little phrase en train de. And finally, step 3, you just pop the main verb on the end in its infinitive form. That's it. And here it is in action. For I am working, you get je suis, that's our conjugated être, followed by en train de, and then the infinitive, travailler. Same deal for the next one. On est en train d'écrire. See? It's a really clean, super reliable pattern.
All right, so we've met our 2 contenders. Now it's time for the showdown. Let's put them side by side so we can really lock in the differences. This is where it all clicks.
Okay, this chart just lays it all out, doesn't it? Look at that top row, usage. The present indicative is your generalist. It handles current actions and habits. But être en train de is a specialist. It only does current in-progress actions. And that difference in versatility, that's the whole ballgame. So what does this actually look like in a real conversation? Well, if someone asks what you do for a living, you'd say, je travaille. But if they call you while you're busy at your desk, you'd say, je suis en train de travailler, to show you're busy right now. One is super general, the other is super specific. With je suis en train de travailler, there is literally 0 ambiguity. The present indicative is for the moment or for habits, while être en train de is specifically for an action that's unfolding right now. Okay, so you might be wondering, that's great for making statements, but what if I need to ask someone if they're in the middle of something? Well, the good news is the structure is just as logical. The classic proper way to ask is using inversion. You just flip the subject and the verb être. So, tu es en train de parler becomes es-tu en train de parler? It's a very correct, if slightly formal way to do it. Of course, in a more casual chat, you could totally just say est-ce que tu es en train de parler as well. Ooh, okay, that was a lot of detail, right? So let's boil it all down. What is the one simple rule of thumb you can walk away with to help you in your next conversation? This is it. This is the big idea right here. If what you're saying is a habit, a routine, or just a general fact about your life, stick with the simple present. But if you really need to stress that you are actively, right this very second, in the middle of an action, you bring in your specialist, être en train de. So to wrap it up and help you avoid some super common mistakes, let's hit the big 3 one more time. First, never, ever, ever use être en train de do for habits. It just sounds wrong. Second, remember that the simple present is flexible, which means you always need to pay attention to the context. And third, être en train de is your tool for precision. It always, always means in progress right now. And that leads us right to our final thought. Based on everything we've just talked about, how would you say what you're doing at this very moment? You want to emphasize it's happening right now. Which tool are you going to pull out of your toolbox? Think about that for a sec. If you've got the answer, then you have absolutely nailed this. Thanks for hanging out with me today.